up, people from all walks of life attend to this Buddha Day ceremony held at the Chiang Memorial Hall in Taipei, Taiwan. Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers organize Buddha Day ceremonies at the Kuala Lumpur Jing and Tzu Chi Malacca chapter. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Nell. Thank you for joining us. On Sunday, May 11th, the Tzu Chi Foundation hosts Buddha Day, Mother's Day, and Global Tzu Chi Day celebration. Tens and thousands of people, including 3 famous Taiwanese opera performers, gather at the Chiang Memorial Hall in Taipei City to honor the Buddha. At the Chiang Memorial Hall in Taipei City, under the guidance of Dharma masters from the Jing abode, participants in Tzu Chi's Buddha Day ceremony sincerely chant the Buddha scripture. During the ceremony, each participant holds a lotus lamp in their hands, which reminds them to reflect and think good thoughts. People from all walks of life also gathered to fill in the formation to present an image of the universe and large Buddhist patterns. Bowing to the Buddha's feet and receiving the fragrant flower, Tzu Chi volunteers and members of the public pray sincerely to the Buddha. By taking part in the event, many participants have the chance to cleanse their hearts and take the Dharma to heart. Among the participants is Xu Yafen, a famous Taiwanese opera performer. As a devoted Buddhist, Xu says the event not only purifies her heart, but also inspires her to continue spreading Buddhism far and wide.
I want to contribute my share and pass on Master Jing's philosophy to more people for the rest of my life. I will seize every opportunity to do things that will benefit our society.
First-timer Sun Cui-feng, another famous Taiwanese opera performer, says that being a part of this ceremony has brought her tremendous joy.
Everyone worked really hard to prepare for this solemn event. I felt extremely blessed when I heard the Buddhist chanting and received the fragrant flower.
In the future, I hope I can incorporate the meaning behind the Buddha Day ceremony in the solemnness of the event when staging Taiwanese opera with Buddhist tales.
Thanks to the Buddha Day ceremony, Taiwanese opera performers are inspired to incorporate the Dharma joy they have received in their future performances to inspire their viewers to change for the better. Also attending the Buddha Day ceremony at the Chiang Memorial Hall were diplomats from 15 countries, religious representatives, Dharma masters, as well as members of the Tzu Chi Performance Association.
Fully focused and following the directions of volunteers, these celebrities set aside their work for the time being to rehearse for the annual Buddha Day ceremony at the Chiang Memorial Hall.
We initially planned for 64 of us to come, but more than 120 of us came instead, so some of us were allocated to where the Tzu Chis were standing.
Many performers brought their mothers to take part in this auspicious event. While praying for blessings for their mothers, they also want to celebrate this year's Mother's Day with meaning.
I thought since it's Mother's Day, such a meaningful day, I should most definitely bring my mom here.
It's the first time I have attended the event. It's a great place. I wish all the moms a happy Mother's Day.
Among the tens of thousands of participants at the Chiang Memorial Hall are some 145 Dharma masters and representatives from across the world, the furthest country of origin being Australia.
Arrived here, we were just so very moved at the number of people who have one mind, 一心, 一个目的, one goal, one target, to just pray to the Buddha and pray for world peace.
Also praying for Buddhism and all sentient beings are lamas from India, who say the Buddha Day ritual holds great significance and meaning.
It brings peace in society, brings harmony to families, and helps people attain an inner sense of calm.
During a time in which man-made and natural disasters are ever more frequent, Dharma masters pray that all participants may be cleansed of their inner afflictions and ignorance, and for a world without calamity and disaster. Among the congregation are also ambassadors and diplomats from 15 countries. Performing the Buddha Day ritual with a heart of sincerity, Solomon Islands Ambassador Laurie Chan is participating in Tzu Chi's Buddha Day event for the third time.
Today or from last year or
last 2 years.
Last 2 years, the feeling's the same. You feel enlightened every time you're here. I'm very truly honored. Feels very good, very powerful.
Attending the event for the first time is Japan Interchange Association Taipei Office Secretary General Kenichi Okada, whose affinity with Tzu Chi was formed in the aftermath of the 311 earthquake.
When the 311 earthquake occurred in East Japan, the support and encouragement we received from Taiwan was so heartfelt. This also included the support which came from Tzu Chi.
Although participants may be from all over the world, the power and significance of Buddha Day transcends all boundaries.
In our next report, we meet Lu Ziyue, who designed the formations of a galaxy that was presented by over 10,000 volunteers at the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall in Taipei.
Formed some 13.7 billion years ago, the infinitely dark and vast universe is only illuminated by the sparkles of countless stars. On a night some 2,000 years ago in India, the Buddha stared into the darkness and attained enlightenment as he came to understand the truth of the universe as revealed by starlight.
On the Tzu Chi Foundation's 48th anniversary, in these vast 3,000 realms, there is a planet named Tzu Chi in this galaxy. It is because Master Zheng leads so many bodhisattvas. In this vast galaxy, the Master's disciples can be found in every nation.
At this year's Buddha Day ceremony at Taipei's Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall, Lu Ziyue is presenting the human formation of the galaxy, which represents the Buddha's immense spirituality personified through Buddhism in action. In fact, however, Lu's initial design was Mother Earth surrounded by Dharma waters.
Before, I was thinking smaller. As I have been strengthening my training over the past year, however, the Master advised me to contemplate carefully what Dharma is and that it should not be confined by space. So I have been thinking about that.
After going through 10 revisions, Lu finally came up with a simple design to demonstrate living Buddhism. And just like the Tzu Chi star, which was discovered and named by National Central University and certified by the International Astronomical Union on July 26, 2010, Lu hopes her work will exemplify Tzu Chi's universal love.
Tzu Chi's missions began 48 years ago. We want people to understand that Tzu Chi is just a simple organization that wants people to walk the Bodhisattva path and share their love with others. That's all there is.
There is Dharma inside everyone's heart. The Master's followers are puny compared to the universe. But by working as one, they continue to cultivate themselves while carrying on the Tzu Chi missions, so that they may deliver hope and love into this world. Over 10,000 people come together to form Lu's design. As they move, the 3,000 realms begin to revolve, and so do the planets of the solar system.
At the time I thought, if I simply had circles revolving, then what would they represent? They would have simply been marching formations. By incorporating the Dharma, however, I would suddenly have made the formations something more powerful.
Originally, Lu wanted to use 3 circles and the pattern of an ascending bodhisattva. As she contemplated the meaning of the 3,000 realms, however, she decided to incorporate the solar system into her design.
What is, may your heart be infinite? It is a sentence often used by Buddhists, but by presenting the idea through our human formation, you can come to understand its meaning much easier. With everyone working together as one, when you open up your mind, you will realize the 3,000 realms are all right here. As I paid homage to the Buddha, I really felt as if I was drifting in vast open space, as if I were really diving into the galaxy. I really felt that, so I hope all those who participate will also feel the infinite reach of Dharma.
Lu did not just come up with these ideas simply by imagining. Inside her e-book are notes taken from years of master sermons, which inspired the modern art interpretation of Buddhism.
I am just the one who likes to take notes and gather information. I then share what I have collected with my team, and we may select a passage to work on. I think that only by having everyone brainstorm and working together can you come up with something grand and magnificent.
In front of the bright mirror, all must purify themselves. That is the first stop for all who arrive at the memorial hall.
The bright mirror hopes to help us rediscover the purity of our heart.
As it is also Mother's Day, Ms. Wang brought along her 82-year-old mother who suffers from dementia, in the hope that the power of faith will bring her mother peace.
We are disturbed by many worries of which we aren't even aware, but through the Buddha Day ceremony, we can help purify and calm our heart.
At the venue, participants also have a chance to make a donation to charity, so that they may come to experience the Buddha's compassion. Through Tzu Chi's tri-celebration, people hope to find a path to peace and harmony.
Prior to the Buddha Day ceremony held at the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall, 450 volunteers were already on site to maintain the cleanliness of the environment. As the Buddha Day celebration concluded later in the evening, another group of volunteers immediately cleaned up the ground and restored the place to its original look.
In the dark of the night, Tzu Chi volunteers are carefully moving tables, chairs, and potted plants away. Meanwhile, Wanhua Tzu Chi volunteers work together to disassemble booth tents. Even though it requires 2 hours of work, these devoted volunteers do not complain.
We mobilize Wanhua Tzu Chi volunteers to disassemble these 12 tents. We are the first to come and the last to go.
I feel quite happy to join the annual Buddha Day celebration. We will come to help whenever we are needed.
Later, the volunteers come together to disassemble the ceremonial table and collect the different components step by step.
First, we take away the Buddha statues before these pot plants. We need to follow the procedure. All the Buddha statues can easily stand.
With the assistance of these devoted volunteers, this year's Buddha Day ceremony once again concluded on a perfect note. In fact, before the Buddha Day ceremony commenced, there were already a group of recycling volunteers patrolling the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall to keep the environment clean.
Today, we have around 450 volunteers who take 2 shifts to keep the venue clean. The first shift is from 2 to 6 p.m. and the second shift is from 6 to 10 p.m.
Volunteers set out temporary recycling points to collect recyclables as they want to make sure the venue retains its pristine condition following the major event. Among the recycling volunteers is 73-year-old Li Yixiong, who says that doing recycling to celebrate Mother's Day is especially meaningful.
I wasted too much time before I joined Tzu Chi. Mr. Zheng Yan says our time is not enough, so I have to seize the opportunity to help as much as possible. This year, I spent Mother's Day in a meaningful way.
Thanks to these volunteers' work behind the scenes, the Buddha Day ceremony proceeds smoothly without imposing any environmental burden on our planet.
In central Taiwan, Tzu Chi's Buddha Day ceremony was held at the Taichung Intercontinental Baseball Stadium this year. 80 Dharma masters graced the event with their presence, along with over 10,000 participants.
The largest Buddha Day ceremony in central Taiwan is taking place at the Taichung Intercontinental Baseball Stadium. Over 10,000 participants form the design of 3 concentric circles, which is symbolic of Tzu Chi's circular organizational structure. The participants in the outer circle were arranged in such a way as to form the design of birdie leaves, which signifies the flourishing of Tzu Chi volunteers far and wide. On commencement of the ceremony, 80 religious representatives lead members of the public in performing the Buddha Day rituals. This year, an area has been designated for religious representatives, and the number of attendees has increased.
We went into the community and invited all our Tzu Chi members and neighbors to the Buddha Day event.
我们除了感念三宝恩、父母恩、众生恩，也期望能够带动更多的人间菩萨。
Taichung City Mayor Chiang has been a regular guest at Tzu Chi's Buddha Day ceremony for more than a decade. Hu says the ceremony holds great significance this year.
For more than 50 years, there was a small temple here and some 5,000 anonymous graves. I'm sure today's Buddha Day ceremony brought them comfort, so I really think it is very meaningful.
安慰，所以我觉得特别有意义。
The Buddha Day ritual serves as a reminder to us that we must constantly and repeatedly reflect on our actions each day. This is the true spirit and meaning of honoring Buddha Day.
As participants bow at the Buddha's feet with reverence and piety, their hearts and minds are cleansed. The entire ceremony is planned down to the tiniest detail. A drone captures the aerial view of this magnificent formation from the sky. On the ground, the dignity and solemnity of the event is captured by a group of some 60 media volunteers.
Our headquarters provided us with 3 high-definition systems. We used this opportunity to conduct a comprehensive test, and we were quite pleased with the outcome.
These high-definition systems help to capture images more vividly. Tzu Chi volunteers display unity and efficiency as they work to restore the venue after the ceremony.
I nailed this myself, so I have to be the one to remove it too. Yes, because we didn't want it to come out.
Before we leave, we have to restore everything back to the way it was.
Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Yuxia and her grandchildren helped to clean up the venue after the ceremony.
It's a good way for them to get connected to Tzu Chi and plant a seed of goodness in their hearts. They attend the Tzu Chi events all the time.
Working together, volunteers restored the stadium back to its original appearance in no time. Their unity and harmony have set an example for children to follow.
Moving to Malaysia to mark the Tri celebration, Malacca, Kuala Lumpur and Selangor Tzu Chi volunteers organized Buddha Day ceremonies. Regardless of differences in race and faith, participants came together to pray for a peaceful world.
Here we are at the Kuala Lumpur Jing Hall. It is 8 o'clock in the morning, and the annual Buddha Day ceremony will soon kick off. Dharma masters from over 40 different Buddhist denominations and over 4,000 Tzu Chi volunteers have come together to join Tzu Chi volunteers across the globe to celebrate Buddha Day, Mother's Day, and Global Tzu Chi Day. Walking in step with the Buddhist music, the Dharma masters lead the participants towards the ceremonial table to offer their sincere praise to the Enlightened One.
In Malaysia, there are some different Buddhist practices. Today, we come together to praise the 3 treasures and repay our parents' grace. Performing the Buddha Day ritual helps cleanse our hearts. We wish our world peace and prosperity.
Having had a presence in Malaysia for 20 years, the Tzu Chi Foundation recently completed the Kuala Lumpur Jing Hall. Soon after its completion, the venue is now being used for this year's Buddha Day ceremony, organized by the Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter.
We are especially happy about this year's Buddha Day celebration because we can now organize such an important event at our spiritual home. Local Tzu Chi volunteers and community members look forward to this event too. I believe this year's celebration will see over 20,000 participants.
Although the space in front of the venue is small and irregular, Tzu Chi volunteers managed to design 12 different formations, successfully presenting the crystal clear 3D sphere.
I'm very happy to take part in the Buddha Day event, and this is my first time. Though I don't understand Chinese, I can pray with the crowds. What moves me the most is how Tzu Chi brings everyone together in prayer. That's magnificent and inspiring.
Regardless of ethnicities and religions, participants come together to pray for a world free of calamities and disasters. Meanwhile, in Malacca, under the leadership of 17 Dharma masters, local Tzu Chi volunteers and participants are celebrating the Buddha's birthday.
The situation is very silent and calm, and it's in my heart that's touching that the movement is like temple.
We are really grateful that before this year's Buddha Day celebration, local volunteers went door to door to invite local residents to join the ceremony.
At this year's Buddha Day ceremony, 3,264 participants joined the formation. Grandpa Han Ya Lai, despite being wheelchair-bound, still insists on attending the event.
I still want to take part in the ceremony.
Attending this event makes me happy. No matter how difficult it is, we will support Tzu Chi's events.
Most important is to inspire people to feel gratitude in their hearts. They should learn to be grateful for everything in their lives.
Tzu Chi members of Indian background also come to join in the Buddhist celebration.
Help these people to come here. Very happy. I did something good for these people.
Taking Buddha's wisdom and Dharma to heart, these participants go home with their hearts purified and immaculate.
Next, meet Ling Cai-yu, who is one of the Tzu Chi volunteers in charge of preparing meals for the volunteers attending the Buddha Day ceremony at the Chiang Memorial Hall in Taipei, Taiwan. Busily preparing ingredients with her fellow counterparts is Tzu Chi volunteer Ling Cai-yu, who is in charge of cooking meals for volunteers participating in the Buddha Day ceremony at the Chiang Memorial Hall in Taipei.
As a housewife, I think cooking meals is not a hard task. I am not good at doing other things, so I think cooking meals for other volunteers is the best way to create a good affinity with them.
Despite the busy work and hot environment in the kitchen, Ling Cai-yu always has a smile on her face when cooking. Ling even sees the chance to encourage her friends to join the ranks of volunteers.
Although we will be extremely tired by the end of the day, we are still very happy. It is great to have the opportunity to give. Whenever Lin Cai-yu has to cook for a large amount of people, we are all very happy to help.
Treating the kitchen as her cultivation ground, Ling Cai-yu, who is a successful business owner, has learned to be humble. Ling's dramatic change has deeply touched her husband.
Before joining Tzu Chi, my wife and I often had arguments. Everything has changed for the better since we have walked the Tzu Chi path. Now, whenever we encounter problems, we will sit down and solve them together.
Seizing every opportunity to give, after cooking the meals, Ling quickly changes into her volunteer uniform to participate in the ceremony here at the Chiang Memorial Hall, giving herself a meaningful ending to this year's Mother's Day. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.